Damn, burn yourself.
Damn, I hate
This
it
is
when it's so hot.
KBCMradio.com. The song you just heard is Can I Begin by Hides of May. Take it away, Andy.
Stories, long books, we are reading romantic books, holding hands on our morning walks, late night kisses, late night talks like ones we have, they are everlasting. Your company, a little bit of rubber, and gonna spin you me out of arms we have, they are everlasting. Think about you, baby, every time I have a cup of coffee or drink a bottle of red wine. When I see the sunset, but always on my mind.
That was Andy Clifton right here on The Beat Goes On Global Internet Radio Show with Mark and Lisa.
And this is normally Mark and Lisa, but this is Mark saying Lisa's not here today. And
I'm here.
we certainly want to wish Chuck and Lisa all the best for the reason why they're not here. And, you know, we love you, so that's all you got. But in your place, and, you know, we call her the street corner gypsy because that's what she is. In your place tonight, a reasonable substitute.
Yeah, somewhat.
And a good friend of everybody's. Yep, Mr. Ricky D. Hall.
Yay!
Play everyone's three here.
The selfie king of the Colorado Springs music community.
Wait a minute. Let me try another one.
And I am proud to announce, and I'm going to announce this every darn show, we are the absolute favorite radio station of our distinguished mayor, John Suthers. Right, Ed?
This is Mayor John Suthers, and you're listening to KBCMradio.com.
What'd I tell you?
The mayor loves us.
Well, can anybody beat that one? Anyway, we're really happy to have Andy Clifton on the show. This is a gentleman that's been, we've established, Ricky says, when did I meet you? And it was 1993, right?
It was 93, yeah. It's nice to be here with you guys. Thanks, Mark. Thanks.
Oh man, no, this is great.
Yeah. Ricky,
we're
good to see you, buddy.
You too, bro.
Yeah, right on.
We're getting around to everybody.
You getting around?
Yeah.
Ricky and I did meet in 93. I was just getting to Colorado Springs as a soldier in the U.S. Army.
We're
down
both
at Fort
still in the
Carson.
Army, yeah.
I was walking in, and Ricky was on his way out. He was doing the last position. I think your last. You're right before you finished up, and
I was in between units.
Yeah.
I signed in with another one. I had to escape. But yeah, it's,
and then we picked it back up later when it was like 3 years later or something, and
Yeah.
And started playing music.
We kept bumping into each other every time we turned around. We were gigging together.
Opening act for Ricky D. Hall. Yeah.
I opened for you a couple of times. Rack and roll.
That's right. Back at the
Rack and roll.
Yeah. See, where else was that? Rack and roll, Laura Bells.
Laura
They used to
Bells.
have-
Where I had my guitar stolen.
Uh-oh.
Oh no.
Soda Springs Park.
That's right. We did a lot of gigs together, and
A lot
then
of
now,
outdoor
and now we're
gigs.
working together again, which
Yeah, in the
is
studio.
really fun. Yeah.
Yeah, I stole one of your songs from you.
We'll get to that.
We'll get to that. Yeah, that's a big deal. But,
We will get to that.
You know, we sat at the Territory Days for all weekend, and because we were proud of all of our friends that were playing in Territory Days, so we
Still peeling.
actually did video most of the acts in their entirety. In fact, we haven't put yours up yet, which was the grand finale, the star-studded finale.
It was hot that day.
Boy, but that was a hot set, man. That
Yeah,
was
he
really
came
good.
up to me and gave me a hug, and it was like splat.
Yeah.
Just splat.
I'm sorry I'm sticking to you. Man.
Those days are when you
Got
just
a
do,
towel?
yeah, you just do fist bumps instead of, you know.
Too late. Thank you.
Actually,
That was fun.
You got on stage with us. that
Yeah,
day.
it was really an honor, man. I mean,
We had fun.
I guess we go into the whole story, but Ricky D. Hall and the Voodoo Hawks performed and recorded one of my songs that I was really honored again. You know,
It was an honor to do it, man. I
and,
love that song.
It's an important song to me, and when you heard it, it became important to you, and that's what songwriting is about, communication.
You know, we were over here having breakfast a couple of weeks ago, and this Army vet came in, and I've known him for a long time, and he came over and sat down and said, I just want to tell you
Oh yeah.
how much that song that you recorded means to me.
Oh, that's the
And I asked
coolest.
him which one, and he said, Wooly Bully. I mean, somewhere along the way. And I told him, well, I didn't write it, but, you know, it was written by another veteran like myself. He said, it really meant a difference in his life.
That's great
It
to hear.
helped him.
Thanks, Ricky. Yeah, that's great to hear. Yeah, you know, I wrote this song because when I got back from Iraq and Kuwait, I was a little out of sorts, and I had to grow. I had to get through it, and I did, and it's been a long time. And geez, I've been out now for 20 years. February was my 20-year reunion of getting out of the Army. So
15 here.
you start to you start to realize what the changes that you've been through become clearer, and this song wrote itself based on those past experience and the growth, and you know, it's a song about love, it's a song about healing, and when I wrote it, it was just that for me. It was therapy, it was healing, it was trying to explain to my new wife why I'm the way I am, and
I'm still explaining.
yeah.
When I first heard it, I sat there and cried right in front of you. And
Went
I
over to
said, "This
Ricky's
song is all
studio,
about
and he
me."
called me up and he said, come on over to my studio, as he often does, and I'm lucky. And so I jumped in the car and drove over there, lickety-split, and we're sitting there passing the acoustic back and forth, playing songs for each other, and he says, well, you know, really, I got a spot on my new album that we need to fill, and I need a ballad or something different, something that's, play me something that, and I said, well, I know you'll like this tune. It's kind of about PTSD, and it's kind of about, you know, it's personal, but you'll get it. And so I played Somewhere Along the Way, which is the song we're talking about. And
I sat there and I cried.
about halfway
like a
through, the
baby.
waterworks turned on. It was nice because I knew you got it. But
When we were shooting the video for it, Andy was actually involved in the video shoot. He's in the video, and
I played on the song.
every
Yeah.
time, he played on the song, and he's in the video for the Voodoo Hawks. And when we were shooting the video, oh gosh, I was crying throughout the whole
Well,
video.
it's
shoot.
funny, in the video, we're drinking shots at a bar, but we're not drinking shots. It's
Water,
I don't want to
or
ruin it.
Whatever it is.
It's Pepsi. Yeah, it was
It's
Pepsi
the
and
rock
water.
and roll
So,
myth.
yeah, we were faking it, but
But I was
you
crying.
know, Ricky was crying like he had been drinking.
Yeah. I mean, I could not. I mean, we had to shoot my part over and over and over. And when they put the video together, they took 5 seconds of this one, 5 seconds of that one. We're trying to get you without you blowing snot bubbles. And it's like, it was a very emotional song for me.
Well, me too, and I think those are the best.
Yeah.
When you sit down to play, or as a songwriter, I don't usually have a whole lot of success sitting down with the purpose of writing a song. I'm going to sit down and write a song. That doesn't work.
Why don't you play this one for us?
Okay.
Well, yeah.
Well, at Territory Days, you sang it without shedding any tears. Maybe it was just too hot and they were evaporating right on your
Evaporated.
right on your face.
Well, Andy was telling us the story about that song on stage, and
Well, we hadn't played it together as a band.
Yeah.
We didn't even rehearse, did we?
No, we hadn't rehearsed it
just
once.
played it.
And it's kind of an intricate song. It's kind of a ballad rock song, but
When we did it, there was these two guys, and you could tell they were veterans because they had all their patches and stuff. And one was leaning up against the stage, and he was crying.
Oh man, well, I was a quote from was it a Dave Matthews quote where people come up and said, "Don't play one of your songs. Don't play Gravedigger, because that song makes me cry." Man.
we're having.
And so he answered with, "Then I'm doing my job." And so I kind of feel that way too about if you can get somebody's emotions to.
That's true.
That's a good song. That's a good piece of art.
Music
Paintings
is
do
emotion.
that. Artwork, if it can get you to have a human experience.
Well, you guys were in a perfect position in the lineup, because before your set was the Army Band.
Color Garden.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
that's right. They were great.
And they were great, so we had a whole bunch of veterans sitting around anyway, and it was just an opportune moment. And the point I was going to make is, we were laughing at Andy because, we were sitting there, and I said, I'm going to have to look at the video I shot, because I couldn't tell you guys missed a beat at all. And, Andy said, well, there was a couple
Just a
of bars
hair,
missing.
and because Ricky has a great drummer, it went seamless. But
Paul Moss
yeah,
is
he's
the man.
throwing
More
send
than a
out.
week ago, I don't remember.
Well, we were playing the song, and I heard a change that didn't come for 8 bars, so we just went with it. And,
Oh yeah, Paul's really good about picking up.
And Paul just
improvising.
boom, right on the money, bang.
He's
Okay.
fantastic, great guy too.
Well, and I also want to say too, Ricky, you are very instrumental in causes, and you supported a show and a cause, 22 a day.
22 until none.
Yeah. Well,
I was at that concert too. I performed there. That was
Yeah, you
super.
did.
Had John Carroll emceeing the event.
Yeah, we
It was sweet.
had a lot of good musicians.
Stargazers,
Yeah.
fantastic venue.
Yeah.
There's going to be another one in a couple of months. I don't know enough information about it, but I know they're putting the pieces together as we speak. And
We could
hopefully I'll know more
probably
about
sit
it.
here and name names from local musicians for the full 2 hours of people that we would love to work with or have worked with, and
Yeah.
that's what's so one of the great things about Colorado Springs. It's full of great players. I mean, just you can tick them off if you really wanted to. I mean, I don't mean make them mad. I mean, count them off.
Count them off.
Not tick them off. But
The temperamental
songwriters.
bunch. Yeah, the temperamental bunch they are.
Be a temperamental man.
I was looking at you, but I didn't. I wasn't inferring.
You were looking
it.
at me, man. They can see this crap
Ricky,
on
he
radio.
didn't mean to touch your hand. It's okay. He didn't mean to.
But this is the other point too, and we are a city of retirees and veterans, because we have so many military installations here, because it's such a beautiful place and it's so conducive to the life post-service. And I got to say that today is I was discharged 40
Congratulations. Wow.
and a month to the day, June 20th, 76. So, we are with
Respect.
all of our brothers
Respect,
and sisters.
yeah, absolutely. Fantastic.
It's your birthday. Oh my God, we have a birthday girl in the audience, and it's one of Andy's greatest fans. Andy, you want to play a birthday song for Maureen?
She's telling me no.
Well,
Too
now
late.
it's too late.
Now the
Ricky,
audience expects it.
come on, man, Ricky. Happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to Maureen.
And she said she's
Happy
17.
birthday to
Yay. I told her when she came in this was a participatory show. We're not corporate radio, are
you.
we?
She's so shy.
We're getting calls in. Oh, Lisa's here on with us. And yeah, she's giving us a little feedback. Well, you know, Ed's doing a great job. Lisa's still telling him what to do so far away. I just had to say that.
Can't get away.
I know.
Can't get away.
So this is the personal radio show that just happens to be a global internet sensation, as well as the mayor's favorite show.
It's great because it is global internet. I have family in New York and Boston and other parts of the country that are listening in. And I want to say hello to my dad, and hello to my mom and my sisters, Aaron and Megan, and sending out love to them from across the miles through the internet.
Every time we have a show every week, of course, we attract a different audience because of the artist, and it just grows the listening audience. And I just got some feedback from the station owner yesterday that numbers are looking good. We've got a stable of constant listeners, and it just amazes me. I always make a joke. I say, "Gee, who's waiting at 7 o'clock to listen to me?" They're coming in at 7 o'clock to listen to Andy and Ricky and, you know, all the bands that we have. And just a shameless plug too. You can go on the Facebook page and look for the event for today, and you can communicate back and forth with us on that page because we check it out. Say who you are, where you're from, you know, like that Beat Goes On Facebook page.
We have the event posted on, if you go to facebook.com/Andy Clifton and Company, then that's our band page for Facebook, and then you can click events and up will pop the KVCM, sorry, my bad, KVCM.
Radio.com.
Yeah, and it's right there. It's easy to see, and there's no other radio station advertisements on our page. I'll tell you that.
Oh,
so,
bless you.
Yeah, so that's it. You guys get you know, privilege.
Shameless plug.
Yeah, and so and you just click the link for the event, and then you can just type stuff in, and you'll be with us on there.
And while you're at it, go to the Facebook page of the radio station and tell all your friends and invite your friends. Just click the little invite button and invite everybody that pops up.
Absolutely.
Well, we also have posted on that event a direct link to listen.
To the TuneIn application.
Yeah, so you can
yes.
tune in, right, as well. Yeah, and then
The TuneIn application is the software that allows you to
And
hear
it's
us.
free.
that's right.
And
I
just
like free stuff.
an added addition is that you could have been listening at 6 o'clock because our All Colorado Music show is Monday through Friday, 6 to midnight. And then we have a thing on Saturday we call a Worldwide Blues Show.
And I listen to it all the time.
It's got its own Facebook page, and it is 12 to 6 Mountain Standard Time, and I love it because it's my personal collection, and it's really predominantly Southern Colorado-based blues musicians, of which there are a ton anyway, and some of my old favorites, some bootlegs, if we can say it on internet radio. Yeah, we can. There's some stuff that you might never hear anywhere else.
Well, it's really cool, Mark, that you were saying before we started the show was that you guys play all kinds of music, not just rock or not just country or bluegrass or not just modern pop or anything, but you guys really find a way to get everybody. You were telling me you had a jazz group in here.
Quartet of Jazz Death.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Wow, are they good or what?
Stephen Flores and Colin Truesdale and Steve Lagamo.
Yeah,
We're trying to get a
Cream of the
second.
crop.
Yeah.
Yeah, some of the high-rise and cream of the crop.
They're doing their second album release show at Stargazers. Another plug for our friends John and Cindy and Colin too, because boy, Quartet of Jazz Death is quite an appropriate title. Those guys are monsters. This is like jazz fusion from, you know, way back in the day when it was the predominant form of
Weather
music.
Report,
Yeah.
Jacob Pastorius kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Colin's got a great bass
Oh man.
I don't know how to put it. It's more than just a guy playing the bass.
Yeah.
And,
Very
and
smooth.
of course, Steph and Steve are.
Connected to the hip.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's a
No
show.
mistakes.
That's a local show that's like a national act. That's right here in Colorado Springs.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yes, and you can subscribe to our schedule of shows on the Facebook page because we are booked until Halloween every Wednesday night.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for having me. I
Well,
feel really honored to be here. To be just
was great.
straight up honest about it, I feel great being here.
We wanted to have you, Andy, because we haven't heard enough of you, and you know, really, it's like we all say that there's music all over this town, and
I agree.
Try and get to all of it. You know, you just can't do it.
I play a lot, and unfortunately, that leaves me on my off nights. Not really able to head out and see a lot of other acts, which is my bad. It bothers
Well,
me.
you got to make
But
money.
I go out and play my things, and then I do family time and whatever else I need to do,
Yeah.
rehearsal or writing or just getting the old laundry monster taken out.
Yeah, only Ricky's got the rock star life.
Yeah. What do you think about that, Ray? Yeah.
Right.
It's half the night you're a rock star, the rest you're your own roadie.
Yeah, and then he's
Yeah.
grandpa too.
I don't know, man. My favorite gig is Rock and Roll Grandpa.
Yeah.
Best gig ever, man.
But see, this is what makes our music community. There's nobody out there posing like they're somebody they're not. Everybody here is somebody in their
I
own
do.
right.
Well, sure. I mean,
Well,
you
but
can,
we're used to, so.
you can go to say the Commonweal Festival in Manitou, or
Yeah.
you can catch the Brew Fest
Or
every year,
Spring
or
Spree.
Spring Spree,
Yeah.
of course,
Coming up,
of course.
Territory Days.
Territory Days, any of these, and you might, year to year, you might end up seeing some of the same players, but it's because great musicians live here.
Mhm.
There's a speaking of fantastic bass players, Kim Stone lives here.
Oh, man, yeah.
Spyro Gyro.
He has an open invitation for a
one of
show.
the most fantastic players,
Yeah.
and he lives here and performs here. He used to do a gig every week down at the Ancient Mariner,
Yeah.
and that was a blast.
Well, he's opening for Colin's show August 6th or 5th or 6th. I'll get a definite on that. It might be the Saturday or Friday.
Saturday.
We'll get
there's,
back on that one.
there's blues players in Colorado Springs that are unique.
Yeah.
And
Oh, yeah.
really very
Jesse
good and
Cottonstone.
unique, and they play around all the time. And then of course there's, you can get like John Wise and the Tribe, and catch those guys and have a dance party.
Seminole party band.
Ricky D. Hall and the Voodoo Hawks can do barroom rock and roll, American rock and roll,
Yep.
flag waving rock and roll
Yep.
that blows your doors off.
Yep.
And
And
you
got
can catch
Flash
it.
Cadillac too.
Yeah, one of the best rock bands. Doing older rock, but
Some people's kids.
you just start naming them off, just like we said.
Well, and
they
that's
all-
it. We have had, ever since we started a year and a half ago, we have had a list of people that we wanted on the show. And it was like last week we had Adrian Osborne, Adrian O, from Denver. And she's just a pop queen. She's just sweet as can be. The show was
Checked her out
just
online. I
great.
haven't seen her live, but I've seen
Yeah,
her
'cause she's
some
up there in
videos.
Denver.
She's doing a great job
Vocal coach.
presenting
the whole
herself
works.
online. Yeah.
But we got like 2 more shows out of her band because the bass player's got 2 different bands. One's a Deftone cover band. No, that was the keyboard player. I'm sorry.
Deftones.
Yeah.
Well, that's how you end up meeting everybody.
Yeah.
If you're in a band with somebody and they know other people, and then
Yeah.
as time, like 20 years ago, and when I was getting out of the Army, I was already playing around town. But you start to meet more and more musicians.
Yeah.
And if your band stays the same lineup for 20 years, that's great. Good, nothing bad about that whatsoever.
Yeah.
Didn't happen to me. I ended up
Yeah.
changing players out and growing, and not looking back and making the best of it and having more fun and going for, okay, well, we're not going to get our exact sound that we got last time because we have a different player with different gear, different chops, different brain. So we're going to move forward with the sound and let the sound grow. Speaking of Flash Cadillac, we were lucky enough to have the Dwight Bement.
The Dwight movie.
Yeah, he's playing on our album too. I found out.
Congratulations!
Yeah.
You can't get any better than this guy. He's got platinum records on his wall. I mean, and he's a sweetheart. He's
Yeah.
just an absolute sweetheart. And so he recorded some stuff with us and did a bunch of live shows with my group and I. And you know, it was a highlight. It was like, here I'm working with a guy who's caliber of rock, you know, Rock and Roll Hall of Fame caliber player. He's works with some of the greatest pop rock guys of all time. You know, from Zappa to what's the group that was the Union? Gary Puckett and the
Gary
Union.
Puckett,
yeah.
Woman, and great songs. And he'll say, "Oh, let me tell you a story about Gary Puckett." You know, and it's the funniest thing you've ever heard. You know.
I don't mind just having him in the studio just to listen to the stories.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you know, and then
History.
when we're mixing down the stuff later, he stands there at the board and then he says, "Do this and this and this," and all of a sudden it sounds awesome because he's been there, done that. He knows the tricks. You know. So not only is he a sax player, I think there's a Gary Puckett Union Gap album where he plays drums. You know what I mean? He's just that guy. He's so
Bass.
good. Yeah, and whatnot. Yeah. And he knows music, and he knows music production. So you work with Dwight, you learn, and then you get to meet other people. Oh, you work with Dwight? I know Dwight, you know.
True.
Great, yeah, great.
Well, is it time for another song?
It probably is long overdue. Let's do a tune.
Yeah.
I'd actually like to start. I want to get to the tune that we were talking earlier. The
Somewhere
song
Along the Way.
Somewhere Along the Way. I want to get to that, but it's probably not. I don't exactly want to start with it, but there's still more story behind that tune, so we'll get there. But July 11th was my first wedding anniversary, and I'm the luckiest guy in the world. My beautiful wife Danielle. She puts up with a lot as a working musician. Thanks, yep, thank you. Sleeping when other people are going to work and coming home from work when other people are sleeping, and it's a different life to be a working musician.
Yeah.
And so to have a wonderful woman in my life who treats me great and takes care of me and then lets me take care of her. But she's, I'm sure there are probably people out there who can identify that she doesn't always take care of me with a smile. Sometimes it's a kick in the butt, and I need that. I'm that kind of guy. You're right, I'm slacking off, I'll get back, Anyways, she's great, and so I wrote this song about her, and I'd like to start with that. It's called Spring Tea Storm.
And I just want to say that we opened up a live feed on the Facebook page for the Beat Goes On show, and we've already got people watching. So listening live, watching on Facebook. Andy, let's have this song right now, man. This is a great testimonial.
She likes taking chances. She don't want to miss a thing. She's got all her answers. She's like a thunderstorm in the spring. Taking my second chances, making up for a few things, finding my own answers. Let's see what this thunderstorm brings. Dark and menacing, getting close and threatening, and full of wonder, just promise I don't wanna miss a thing. She's got all my answers. She's my thunderstorm, yeah, in the spring. Dark and menacing, getting close and threatening, yeah. And for I wonder just the same, yeah. Dark and menacing, getting close and threatening, full of wonder just the same, yeah, yeah, yeah. Dark and menacing, getting close and threatening, yeah. Full of wonder just the same. She's so beautiful. She's so fine, fine. She's all right, yeah. She's got all the information. She's got tricks up her sleeves. She won't stand for my frustration, no. She's a thunderstorm, yeah, in the spring. She's my thunderstorm, yeah, in the spring, yeah, yeah.
Very nice.
Oh, yeah.
Very nice. What a great song. And I what I got to say too, for those of you that were really listening, that was just Andy playing.
My friend the loop pedal.
Well, there you go. That's
Yeah.
what we were going to talk about next is your setup.
Well, I do use a loop pedal, obviously, but there's nothing in the loop pedal when I start. Every gig, every song, the loop pedals get cleared out. So right now, it's already been emptied. You're
Basically,
probably
you play it live into the loop pedal.
Yes, I have a pedal board, so my guitar, my electric acoustic guitar, the cable runs out of that and it goes into an EQ pedal, so I get the sound that I like. And then from there it runs into my lead pedal, which is just a compression kind of little, it takes that strummy good sound and it compresses it down so you can noodle around, fiddle fart around, so to speak. I use a few other effects pedals that work well with acoustic guitars with a clean sound, and I rotate those out like I have a tremolo or a tremolo, if you want to call it that, whatever.
It's going to be French.
Yeah. I use a chorus pedal rarely, so that comes and goes. And I have a great tuner, that kill switch kind of thing. But my loop pedals are, it's like 3 hours of open space that you can utilize any way you want and put it into different settings or different slots, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, whatever you want. One of them has 99 and the other only has 11, they're just slightly different. But they're clean, they're empty. And so when I play a show live, or each song, the loop pedals are open, and I might put a rhythm in there or a kind of maybe a soundscape kind of thing. And it's pretty simple to demonstrate. This is the guitar. And that's live. So if I click on the loop pedal, which you probably can hear in the studio out there, and no, you couldn't hear the clicky click. The new one doesn't make so much noise. The old one click and clacks because it's got a lot of miles on it. But if you go, so you start with a simple pattern, add the loop. So that's the loop plan. And if you get it close, then you can actually have a drummer play along. I didn't miss it that time. Sometimes you miss it and it's not so great, but so now you.
So cool.
Oh, hey, and then I just reach down and clear it. So, because the worst thing that you can do is forget to clear it,
Yeah.
and then you get into the next song, and you go to do another loop, and you press it, and the previous song starts playing, and it sounds like your guitar broke. Yeah, oops, yeah. The good thing about it is, though, it's a foot pedal, so you just stomp on it a couple times, it shuts up. Yeah.
Well, and this is a great demonstration, and we on the show we like to do mentoring moments.
Sure.
To get everybody involved.
It's not something that's that I didn't go into it to kind of be like, look what I can do.
Oh,
But
yeah.
it's such a great tool for learning your instrument.
Yeah.
The loop pedals, if you get a loop pedal, you don't need it for performing. If you don't want to use it for performing, that's fine. But if you want to rehearse, and you're minus another guy, somebody that you want to bounce tracks off of, you can use the loop pedal and put your chord progressions into your own songs, and then find that key or the mode or the scale or whatever it is that you want, that works with it. And you can do your rehearsing alone, and then take it to your band and say, look what I figured out, and then do it together, Or like I do, go play solo gigs, and it's I don't want to. There's the one thing that I don't want to say is that, if I didn't have my loop pedal, it would be boring. That is not the case. Yeah. But strumming chords and chording all night long and singing all night long, well, that's great. But I like to do more, and I want to be able to do more. So I started. I think I had a Digitech loop pedal that only had 4 seconds of loop, and it was and it didn't have a drum machine brain. So if you got the loop wrong, you'd get something like, give you anything. You didn't have any room, and it didn't quantify it.
Yeah.
So these are a little better, and more of an investment.
So what kind of loop pedal are you using?
I'd have to look down. No, they're the Boss.
Yeah.
They're the Boss loop pedals, and they make the big unit that has all kinds of pedals in it, and I don't use that. What I have is the Loop Station RC2, which is the original from several years ago, and I've just been cleaning it and keeping it working like an old truck, which is what I drive. But you keep maintenance up on your pedals. And then I have the Loop Station RC3, which is digital, 99 places to put loops, and I set it to my age. So I look down and I see how old I am on the board.
Oh, that's a good
And I'm
reminder.
like, oh yeah, okay. No, I don't know why I do that, but it's like what do you call a tick or something like that.
Yeah.
So what do you think about technology in general now?
Oh, good question. I think it's great how in the last 10 years home recording has taken off, and studios have upped their game. So if you go pay for a studio, they're competing against basically Guitar Center and everything they sell.
Mm-hmm.
So you go into a recording studio, you should get a good high performance from the people that you're paying to record to capture you, and then because so many people can just do it at home. And in fact, I have my own little setup at home that I record on, and it's usually just to send songs to my band members. Hey, learn this. Hey, I'm going to play this at the next show. And sometimes that's how we rehearse, because they're real people with real lives and real families. And there was one point when I had a piano player in my band who is phenomenal. His name's Paul Haller. He's phenomenal. Yeah, you probably know. We all know. Everybody knows him. And he's a lawyer.
Yeah.
He's busy. You know what I mean? He's really busy.
Yeah.
And he does other things as well. And I'm sure he probably doesn't want me to get into it. He's probably if he hears this, he'll be like,
That's
"Why is he
$3.50
mentioning
an
me?"
hour.
But that's an example of somebody who's absolutely swamped with work. And we don't actually have time to get together. And since we're playing quite a bit, often we can rely on that closeness. And it's technology that helps us do that. I mean, I know on the high end, there are bands where the guitar player's in LA and the drummer or the bass player in Georgia, I don't know, New York City, LA and New York, right? And they're recording together in live through technology. And that kind of technology makes the world smaller, but it also opens the world up.
Yeah.
So I like it. I like the fact that I can take a handheld digital recorder to my gig, put it on the stage, hit record, and when I listen to it afterwards, it sounds awesome. It sounds crystal clear because those mics, those little condensed stereo mics, sound great.
Yeah.
They sound great. They really pick up the room really well. I don't know. Like, I haven't bought too much into the home recording stuff, so my setup's pretty simple. But like I said, I've been to other people's home or studios, and they do pro work, or what sounds to me like pro work. After 3 hours in the studio, I can't hear anything anyhow. But Ricky, you do your own studio work, a lot of it, and you do some work in other places. But have you felt like the technology's been growing to help the studio experience, or do you think it's just too complicated?
Well, actually, there's always a learning curve to everything. It takes time to understand your gear, but the true talent is being able to do make miracles happen with what you have.
Yeah.
Like you do with the loop.
Well, the other aspect I was going to get into was, there is a new subgenre, I guess, and they are called loopers.
Oh yeah.
Because our friend Nick Red Watrous is one of those loopers, and he actually did a Rocky Mountain Loop Fest at the Royal Castle Lounge last year. Mike Stewart from Mule Train Express is a looper. There's a lot. I mean, it's showing off your self-sustenance as a solo performer,
Yeah, well, for me, the total origin of looping itself, like the song The Beatles, Tomorrow Never Knows.
Yeah.
I mean, they had like 8 or 9 machines going loops, and they were bringing it in and out of mix. And
Sure, back in the day of tape
Yeah.
looping, like with Pink Floyd and Dark
Yeah.
Side of the Moon,
And to
tape
me,
looping, yeah.
with digital now, it's just cleaner loops.
Yeah,
and better
you can't
quality
bring a
sound.
3-inch tape machine to every gig to
Yeah.
loop
No.
stuff, and you can't stand there and perform on it as you're doing what you normally do, because it's an instrument.
Yeah.
It's like a DJ table. When the DJ's good, it's an instrument. He's performing musically on that instrument, and when a loop machine, if it's too much, how are you going to make it work in a live situation? So it's great to be able to buy this pedal and from a retail store or whatever, an online store or whatever, get the pedal and start going to work. I've been working with my drummer for long enough now to where my band and we can perform with the loop pedal. So if I have a bass player and a drummer and an electric guitar player and I'm playing acoustic, and singing, and there's harmonies going on, and the music's at this full throttle level, we're performing, earning our supper, and then the loop pedal comes into play. We know how to not skip a beat, not make it nobody can tell that there's a loop happening unless they're watching me, like looking
Exactly,
at me.
yeah.
Which, I'm glad. I mean, hey, if they think that I'm doing it all live, which it is live, but in real time, I mean,
Well, I remember
that's incredible.
I saw Emerson, Lake and Palmer way back.
I saw
Way
their
back in the
first
day.
concert
And
ever.
wasn't Keith Emerson's wall it was a wall of cables and lights and we're
The
going.
Moog.
I know. So
Moog.
we're going. Okay.
He had about 1,000.
Why can't you
cables
reduce
in it.
that sucker down to
Which is
thank
what's
God for
happened. All that has
technology.
come down to
Yeah.
40 years
a
later.
plug
I
in
mean-
and a plug out.
I saw them at the Isle of Wight, and it was like 3 musicians from outer space
Oh, yeah.
with sounds that I could never have imagined. I mean, when I saw Hendrix, I felt the same way, but this was totally different. This was way beyond
the three
guitar.
of them, yeah, man. Carl Palmer, it seemed like he had like 8 arms instead of 2.
Well,
He
speaking
was
of Hendrix, I mean, he was one of the first to really start designing his own and
Pedals.
soldering his own stuff
Yeah.
together,
Yeah.
making it. Well, what do I want it to sound like? The Kinks. I want my speaker to sound like the Kinks, but I don't want to take a razor blade to my speaker because it has to last. So I'm going to make a circuit board and I'm going to put a circuit in this box and I'm going to put a pedal stomper on it. And he was the forefront of that. And now here we are where you can go to Guitar Center or any other retail outlet and find technology.
Pro Sound.
I probably shouldn't have mentioned anybody by name there, but retail stores and get something that can up your game. That can that's compact, and I think it's great.
Well, and we also love to mention our local music stores. Really,
Go for it.
Moon Dog Mike is a great guy on the west side, and Lucci Music on the north side, and
Bill St. John at
Bill St.
Music
John.
Central, who
That's
is
right.
the greatest guitar. I tell you what, he just rebuilt my guitar, and I am so grateful for him. A
we
guitar
saw you
I
smile
have.
on that photo, man.
Oh man, it was my glass elephant, and I don't trust anybody working my guitars except for Bill St. John at Music Central. And that's more than a plug. It's a heartfelt thank you to Bill St. John for taking a guitar that was completely unplayable and rebuilding it for me. Okay.
Rick, you're not the only person who said that. I hear that from a lot of people. It's the truth.
That is the very most basic support businesses for a musical community, and really, we're local, so we support local.
That's
You know, even though the big dogs are the big dogs and they sell and they support, but it really all the people that really want to go and say, hey, I want this done this way, you go find the local guys.
And you find someone that cares about the quality of their work.
And since we're local, we like to support local businesses that we want. The purpose of this global internet radio show is, Colorado Springs is on the map somehow, no matter what. It's on TV all the time now. I can't believe it. It cracks me up. Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's not so good, sometimes it's absolutely ridiculous. But for people that are listening and go, man, I want to come to Colorado Springs because they've got really a killer music community.
It's amazing how much music there is here.
Yeah.
It's truly, I mean,
But we want
Every
always hear-
genre you can think of.
yeah, you always hear
Reggae.
people go, man, there's nothing to do in Colorado
Oh,
Springs.
no.
And I just go, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
There's so much to do. You can,
You need to
can look
walk
at the
out the
agenda.
door.
Get out of your house.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, you can, close the computer and actually go
Mhm.
and hear a live group that kicks butt.
Yeah.
I mean, literally blows the doors off. There's a group in town right now called Goya,
Yeah.
and they are rock monsters.
Yeah.
They're just great. And they're doing covers, and they also have some of their own stuff. And
One of the best live bands
Your hair
I've
gets
seen in
blown
years.
back. Yeah,
Well, they
you're
have-
throwing your fingers. Yeah, all
They
right,
have an
go
open
rock and
invitation
roll.
too. Yeah.
Great.
And they got one of the greatest frontmen ever, Josh. I mean, he is just amazing.
They are amazing.
Does
Yeah.
splits, does flips, back flips, and everything that looks so painful. Just me imagining to try to attempt.
Come on, Ricky, you do backflips, don't you?
Well, not on purpose.
Always someone hits me.
He had to make a comment on one of my videos that I shot at the Stargazers about him scrambling to put out an equipment fire.
Oh! my whole pedal board blew up in front of me,
Ugh.
and I'm like, ah! You know, and
Yeah, that's
I'm
what I would have done
pointing
too.
at everything.
Ah!
And nobody else was going,
Nobody noticed.
Well, speaking of local musicians right there, maybe this is a good chance to mention that we've lost a few
yeah.
that were the heart and soul of several small pockets, not small, but pockets of players. Earlier, Chris Forsythe passed away,
Yeah.
otherwise known as Sizzle. A heck of a front man. And
Genius.
I've known him for many, many years. I remember sitting in his car listening to his current band, and he said, I just got this from the guy, and he puts it in, and yeah, and I wanted to listen to it, but he was sitting right next to me singing at full volume. So all I really heard was Chris just belting it out right there, and that was Chris. He just full bore, no prisoners, and he's unfortunately gone from us now.
Yeah.
Recently, Jason Coran passed away. He's a veteran, fantastic fella who was in
Great singer.
great frontman again,
Wrestling
family
team.
man, and to lose him, it's terrible. But we send love to their family, and I would actually like to send a song out.
We'd
Yeah,
love
to
to.
those
Yes,
guys, yeah.
this is a fitting tribute, and this
There
is
for the, there but for grace go I.
That's
I
right.
mean, when I think about my family or I think about my life, it's a mirror image to some of these fellas, and this has been a terrible year for musicians all over the world.
Yeah.
But Colorado Springs really has much more of a music scene and music family than people realize.
So
Yeah.
true.
And here we are mentioning everybody that we know, and the list goes on and on and on.
Oh, it does. Yeah.
But we're all human, and we all have our humanity to think about. And
Yeah.
when extraordinary people pass, it's not just worth saying something about them and how they affected us, but it's just, to me, it's mandatory.
Yeah.
They're great. They were great. And they're
Well,
still great because,
and-
Chris left us with a YouTube full of videos of
Oh,
his
wow.
music. I was just checking it out the other night. And, they're rocking. They're just, people don't rock like that, That was them, and it was unique to them. And the
Full
same
of
with
heart.
Jason. Yeah, full of love. And that's the thing, is that we're not LA. We're not Chicago or New York or Nashville. Yet the musicians in this town play like the eyes of the world are on us.
Yeah.
And if you can go out on any given night, and hopefully if you come out and see my band, you're going to see people who are absolutely in love with the moment and giving it everything they have. That's what I do, and that's what the guys I hire do. When I go see Ricky's band, geez, if you haven't seen the Voodoo Hawks,
You got to.
yeah, they raise the roof.
Yeah.
They take out.
No prisoners.
Yeah, no prisoners. Yeah, that's what Jaco Pastorius used to say
Yeah.
before every gig. I was watching the documentary that's on Netflix right now, and the weather report guy said every night Jaco would come up and say, "No prisoners," and they'd go out and play. You know,
Like I
that's
said,
the truth.
that was one of the top 5 shows I saw, Weather Report, in '77.
I don't even want to tell you that I was 5 at the time. Yeah.
Yeah,
I
but
was
you caught
probably
on.
watching Star Wars.
But-
while you
but
were
you
watching
caught
Jocko.
on.
Yeah, oh yeah,
You know,
I
and that's
caught
the
up.
whole thing.
Yeah, I
That's
caught up.
starting the story. It's like, yeah, I want people to know when they come to Colorado Springs, they got a whole bunch of stuff to do, people to listen to,
Mm-hmm.
landmarks to associate with. So we're doing our part for the local community and
You
economy.
really are. This is great.
Thank
great.
you.
You guys got it.
We're very proud of it.
Cool. Yeah, you should be. So I'd like to send this tune out to those fellas.
Yeah.
This is one of my newer tunes. It's called Barefoot on the Ground. Things that we've been told, how our lives get bought and sold, lost after silver and gold. But it's a sin to get old. Come on, what happened to the truth? Do we need a super sleuth? Spy in the kissing booth, a child with a sweet tooth, to help us bring it all back down, till we're barefoot on the ground. Yeah. Love is all around. Yeah. Lies that have been said, bouncing in your head, weigh you down like lead. So let it go instead. Come on, what happened to the truth? Do we need a super sleuth? A spy in the kissing booth, a child with a sweet tooth, to help us bring it all back down, till we're barefoot on the ground. Yeah. Love is all around us again, around us again. It's no surprise to see your fist. You're open as you see, but you still resist. Turn it around and get barefoot on the ground. Go on, head down there.
That was a great song, man. You got a great voice, Andy. Really.
Thank you very much. You're very kind. Thank
Well,
you.
we're very real, and so are you. And this is what a great gesture
Thank
for our
you very
friends.
much, man. That tune again was for me one of the tunes that came to me, and so I'd love to take credit for it, but somehow or other the credit goes to the way the songs come to people, because I'm not like taking a songwriting pill or anything. I'm not. I've don't know exactly. Like I get tongue tied when I start to talk about songwriting, and I've even to try to defeat that. I've even done songwriting workshops and in local bars or whatever to kind of like open mic stuff, but to where I come out and say hi and play a tune and then invite people up. So I've done that several times. Pardon me.
Well, that's great to know.
Yeah, but I haven't done it lately. But it's been a while. But it's amazing to get to watch other people come up and share their. If some guy reaches into his back pocket and pulls out a rhyming thesaurus and he's like, I use this for every single rhyme. I'm like, okay, it works for you, man. Okay,
Yeah.
But then he sings a song and you're like, wow, that works for him, and his process is beautiful. And
He's talking about me with a
Well, he is. That's
You see mine in the studio.
Hey, I've got one too. It's not not well worn as yours is, but I got one too.
But that's the joy for
Yeah,
doing
the songwriting. It is joy.
For doing this show for so long now, and every Wednesday, I mean, we're up to like 90 shows now. But we see so many people come in, and we get those little bits of information about how they do it, and it's a spectrum, man. No one's got a formula, and it all works for everybody.
Yeah, you're right. It is a spectrum. That's a great way to put it, because songwriting is personal and unique. And what a great job too. I mean, it's it might not be at first. It never is. The most lucrative of jobs. Unless you're in the know and you're in the connect and you got somebody who's buying your songs right out of the chute.
Yeah.
I was really fortunate to have a group like Ricky D. Hall and the Voodoo, who's already, the word I'm looking for is already set up and already.
Icon.
Yeah, they're a bona fide rock band. They're out there playing, they're touring, they do their thing. They're always recording, they're always moving forward. And for them to say, hey, we want to use one of your songs. And I'm like, what, me? This guy? Ricky and I are buddies, but that was not something that like, oh, someday you're going to play one of my songs. It wasn't like that at all. It was a moment where Ricky saw an empathy and a connection, and he has his songwriting that's already being explored, and it's on the album, and the band's playing that stuff. And he thought, oh, what a good moment to bring a fresh song in or something different. And he had the courage to do that, to say to somebody who is out there doing what he's doing, we should work together, we should do this. That comes from that, what you were talking about with that local connection that Colorado Springs has these people in it, and they're here, and Ricky's one of them. So when he said, I want to play your song, I was like, okay, cool, what does that mean? How does it work? Because I didn't have any, no one had ever bought a song for me or used a song of mine before.
1999.
Yeah, 1999.
You know what? The first thing, Andy and I get together about once every other month.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
The first thing we do, we spend the first 2 hours playing songs to each other.
Yeah.
I got this. What do you think? Hey, I didn't finish this one. What do you think? You want to finish that? How about this?
It's awesome too. You get to get outside yourself, and that's the thing about songwriting is when it does start to work. And you see, like I have a band, and there's 3 other guys or 4 or 5, other guys, depending on the gig, who have a life, who have families, who have their own music. They are songwriters themselves, and yet they get together in AC and Company, which is my group, Andy Clifton and Company, and they play my music. That's, not available for them to hear anywhere else and practice, or to say, oh, I know what feel that's got, like if you were going to go, play a Pink Floyd song, you would know exactly the sound that you needed your instrument to make, and all those little questions and little doubts and little creative aspects are already taken care of.
But it's different when you're playing original music.
And then when you go to play original music, you're right, absolutely right. There is no meter that says what my guitar should sound like here, or oh, should I play on this beat or on the and of the beat or on the andia of the beat? Where do I come in, you know? And so you get a great drummer, like you have a great drummer.
You got a great
And I have a great drummer. And when you work with great players, your original music goes, you know, beyond your expectations. Because I sit down and when I actually catch something on the guitar that turns me on, so to speak, you know, that gets my creativity. Wow, I want to work with this and I want to make these 4 chords do something. I want to say something with this song. And then you get a guy who brings percussion to that. It's powerful. It's more than that. But it becomes a life of its own. It becomes like a child.
Well, we've already got a commitment out of Andy. He when we first were, in fact, Ricky was the one that suggested that I get you on the show. So and then I asked you. I said, "What, you got any MP3s?" So he sends me an MP3 one. And I go, "Okay, it's on the rotation."
Yes.
And then I go, "What? You've got albums?" And he goes, "Okay, I'll bring a truckload of albums next time."
Yeah, next time I'll bring you a stack of CDs. I thought you just wanted one. I didn't think, you know what I mean? These guys are hard-working radio guys, and I know it takes, well...
We're not hard-working radio guys.
It takes up a lot of time to do something this technical.
We are friends, first of all.
Well, sure.
And then
I didn't think that you would want, you know, like, if they want to hear my music, I'll give them a song or two. I'll send them. And when I get here, you're like, why'd you always send me one? And I'm going, well, I didn't think you'd want more than one. And you're like, no, I want them all. So
this is the whole basis of the show. It started out being this interview show every Wednesday for an hour, and then the response has been so great. At the first of the year, we started let's do 2 hours, so we can actually get to know the artist and hear. And sometimes different versions, you know, stripped down versions. We have metal bands come in and do an acoustic stuff.
Oh, sweet.
But the whole thing is we got to expand into a morning format Monday through Friday. And then the response was so great again. Monday through Friday, 6 to midnight is nothing but local music.
Well, do you have a number or some kind of information that you wanted to put out for people to...
You know, and yeah, halfway through the show, it's like, if you want to call in and say hey to Andy or anybody, Ricky, Shadow Man, he's got some groupies now.
Shadow Man,
But
yeah.
our Skype number is 719-445-8958. And we do take calls because we like to laugh with everybody.
We're here in the studio. We're very comfortable.
Yeah.
We're safe from the lightning and the rain that's going on outside. You know, we're safe from the heat, and it's very nice to be here. And then I get to perform some songs. This is fantastic. I highly recommend, if you're a musician out there and you're a working musician, and you're thinking, boy, you know, maybe I'd like to do that, or maybe I don't want to do it. Take a chance and do it. They're great guys.
Thank you.
Our Shadow Man, they're made me feel extremely comfortable. And, you know, going up and playing gigs, going up on a stage and playing gigs is one thing. That's a task. That's something that, you know, I've kind of, I wouldn't say gotten used to. It's something that I've learned how to do. Every time I go, I still have my own personal anxieties, you know, one way or another. You know, solo gigs especially, because when you get up on stage all by yourself, you're really vulnerable. Yeah. Having fans show up helps, you know. Having a band with you helps. That energy builds up and everything. But going on a global internet radio, that word global kind of makes my knees knock together a little bit. I'm not a.
We did that for a reason.
I'm not an Iron Man. I'm a normal human being that has, whoa, this is a little. Yeah, it's a little bit intimidating, but it's also very comfortable at the same time. So.
Well, we hope so, because
it's great.
we are just thrilled that people will come and play for us on our show. We've already talked about how others are different or similar in some regard, but we purposely go out of our way to make sure that this is a place to do it at.
That's cool.
We get some questions. What, you're not on the radio spectrum? And I go, well, no, it's kvcmradio.com. So we had to throw in global internet radio just because to emphasize
it's internet.
Yeah, it's internet.
Right. You can listen to it anywhere in the world.
Well, a lot of times a radio DJ might be over the top, you know, blah, blah,
Oh,
blah,
no,
blah,
yeah,
blah, you
yeah.
know, and that, I've done those radio interviews before as well.
Yeah.
And it was a little more up speed, you know, it was
Oh,
like,
sure.
you know, go, no, don't let the radio station have dead second at, you know, and you guys are being so accommodating and you know,
Well,
it's great. It's much easier.
We're
than,
among friends.
Yeah, well, that's what
You
it
know?
feels like for sure. Yeah.
So, but that's the deal. We don't ask silly questions like, "Whoa, what was your first song you ever played?" You know, how old were you when you first thought you wanted to play guitar? But you know, these
Thank you,
stories-
Mark.
Yeah, Ricky actually sent me a list of don't say this.
Oh, really?
And I go, you know what? I threw that list away right away.
That's right. Don't
None-
listen to Rick. No, wait, that's not what we
No.
meant.
None of them were on the list anyway.
That's right.
No, it was just,
But
you know, since our album came out, we've been doing interview after interview, and some of the questions are boring. And it's just, it put me to sleep trying to answer them, you know? It's like,
so
let's
interviews.
get away from it.
Well, here's a quick interview question for Ricky D. I've been in your studio, and when you go into Ricky D's studio, there's guitars all over the place, and there's equipment, you know, that's running, and it's very, you know, wow, you're in the middle of a machine that's really working. But on the walls, like kind of like here, you guys have posters and albums and cool pictures and everything. But in Ricky's studio, he has show flyers, gig flyers,
Yeah.
from not only events that he's been to as a you know, just a spectator, or gigs that he's played with his different groups, but also gigs where his friends, you know, these guys are his buddies. So my question to Ricky is that when you look at those flyers and those beautiful pictures of your guitar heroes that you've grown up with, is there one of those that's more important to you or emotional to you in some way or another than say another? Or because you have so many and they're all amazing, you know, heroes, rock and roll heroes that Ricky knows and spent time with on the road. You know, he's told me stories about him and Dickie Betts that makes me laugh. You know, it's so funny. But it's one of those posters or something maybe you could, or special to you in some way.
Probably, well, it'd probably be a tie between Steve Marriott from Humble Pie and Lonnie Mack.
Lonnie Mack.
Yeah.
Lonnie was my mentor and one of my best friends in the music industry. He gave me a lot of advice, and Steve, I got in a lot of trouble with, you know, a lot of things that I probably don't even remember fully, and I just remember.
Why would that be, Rick?
He's
Yeah.
he was the type of person that when he walked into your life for that week or so, he took over your life for that week or so, and you had no life. You were part of Steve Marriott's life, you know. And Lonnie was the total opposite, very unassuming, very non-ego. He was all about the music and what the music was meant to portray, you know, the lyrics. He was a very good lyric writer, and I was very honored to. One of the songs that I recorded with SDLH was one of the last songs that he probably wrote. It was, you know, me and him together. Well, actually, not in the same room. It was back and forth with emails. I'd write a line, and he would tell me it would suck, and write another line for it, or change it around. But he was probably the biggest influence in my life, because my first record actually was Wham! By Lonnie Mack. And I got 4 records for Christmas. One of them was Wham! By Lonnie Mack, She Loves You, Elvis, All the Hell the Hullabaloo, Christmas, and then the supergroup. Christmas time is here.
Oh, are you talking about the infamous Alvin and the Chipmunks?
Oh man,
My
they're
favorite.
superstars.
My
They're
favorite.
so underrated.
That was on my top 10 list back when I was a kid too.
I had that. Yeah.
That was my first 4 records.
It was Christmas and comedy.
And
Yeah.
the only reason, to be honest with you, I had never heard of Lonnie Mack, but the 45s used to come in picture sleeves, and it had a picture of him playing Flying V. And I'm like, oh, that looks like an arrow. Oh, I love that guitar. I want one of them.
You've got several of them now, don't
I got
you?
several of them
Yeah,
now,
they're beautiful.
but you know, it did get me the biggest butt whooping in my life because I took my mom's broom and cut it into a V because I wanted to get like that. And then she beat me with that broom. And then she told me it was my guitar.
That's good. The whole 2 hours boils down to that story right there.
And then
Perfect.
the
The scene
next week I got
stealer.
a whipping because I took my grandmother's robe and took the little tie, made that into a guitar strap.
The Nacho Libre of classic rock.
But of
Yes.
course it didn't fit me, so I had to cut it.
Yeah.
And she didn't like that at all. So
No,
I got
no.
butt whoopings twice because of Lonnie Mack.
The sacrifice you've
His-
made
Oh,
for your
no.
art.
It's his fault.
It's
You know, those 2 ass whoopings, butt whoopings I got because of Lonnie Mack. You can bleep that out,
it's
right?
Lonnie's fault.
Oh no, you're
It's
done.
Lonnie's fault. And I told
You're
him about
toast
it
now.
the first time I met him.
Well, I've been asked those, questions like that quite a bit. You play a gig and someone comes up to shake your hand and they want to ask you a question, but they don't know what to ask. So, they say, what was the first concert? And I go, well, I was really lucky. I had a mom who not only had a record player and let me play her collection, 33s back in the, for those of you who don't know what records are.
Oh yeah, huh?
It's a
Digital download,
Yeah.
Ken.
Google it. Yeah, Google what a record is. It's somehow wrong. But I would, practice putting the needle on perfectly because if I didn't, my mom would come
yeah.
back in the room and say, "You got to be more careful."
Those are expensive.
Yeah, they, and they were her Beatles albums from when they came out,
Yeah,
her
yeah.
Stones albums when they came out, and she also collected Motown, and she also collected Broadway. So her record collection is varied.
Oh, that's great.
And it was great because I would put the needle down and go, "Oh no!" And for some reason or other, I believed you had to listen to both sides, so I flipped it over and put the needle down that one. And go,
And it still wasn't.
"No, I don't like that. I still don't like this album." Of course, it was going to be the same, but And then I'd put that away and get another. And I would just go through back and forth through the whole collection and see and then maybe I'd find something that I liked, And
Chipmunks rule, man.
I found out that the Chipmunks pretty much ruled. Yeah.
Alvin is a superstar. He's so underrated, man.
No, it's Theodore who's underrated. Alvin's.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh.
Theodore was actually like the Paul McCartney of the Chipmunks.
Well, that's what it is. I had this mother who loved music, and so she got me anything I wanted. When I was in kindergarten, I saw Kiss Alive 2 on this, in the record store. We used to visit the record store. That's
Yeah.
how cool.
Oh, sure.
The family would be
Hours.
families walking around in the record store.
Yeah.
Mom and Dad would be looking at the Sinatra albums, and the kids would be looking at Alvin and the Chipmunks and whatever, right? And I saw Kiss Alive 2, and I thought, yeah, I like that, and
Mama, what's cold, Jim?
Yeah, well, and so I got that, and I loved it, I absolutely loved it, and then my taste in music changed and grew and grew and grew. But the first concert that I ever saw was my mom went in and put a record on the player, and it was Peter, Paul, and Mary, and she said, "We're going to see this group."
Oh wow.
And there's a place in my hometown, outside of my hometown in Western New York, called Chautauqua Institution. And they have summer concerts. They have a great big covered amphitheater, and it's famous. It's historic. It's absolutely beautiful. Great place to see concerts right on Lake Chautauqua in Western New York. And we saw Peter, Paul, and Mary as a little kid. I remember singing Puff the Magic Dragon, and they were singing songs about the U.S. being involved in El Salvador, and they were very politically active and very wonderful folk singer-songwriters and storytellers. That was really my first concert experience. I think we were the front, but not front row. We were right in the kind of back of maybe 10 rows, and I remember seeing other kids sleeping as I was standing there next to my mom, going, "Yeah," and it's a visceral memory of the feeling of that first concert. So I remember that. That's a question that. Maybe that's a dumb question, like Ricky was saying.
No.
That's a dumb question. I don't want to be asked that question. But to me, that's an important question. And that doesn't matter what your first concert is. If I had never seen a concert, I would still be playing guitar and singing because I do it for lots of different reasons.
Well, my now 16-year-old, I started taking him to amphitheater shows in Dayton, Ohio when he was 4 years old. So he saw Buddy Guy and B.B. King and Stanley Clark and Herbie Hancock. I don't even, he really doesn't have any interest in music, but I hope someday he will. And someday he might say a story like that my dad took me to.
Oh, he will, of course.
You know.
He probably tells that story more,
Well,
But he
might
won't
say
tell
it's
you.
weird,
Yeah.
Because he was that kid that was on the grass, with his leg crossed and his foot was tapping in the air, and everybody was going, "That's one cool kid," and I'm going, "Yeah, it's my boy."
Cool.
But yeah,
Well,
this is how it starts.
For the several past 4th of Julys, we've been taking our family up to Red Rocks to see Blues Traveler.
Oh, yeah, that
You
is a
can't
great
beat
show.
That gig. That is a great show.
Fireworks everywhere.
Or there's a lightning storm or
Yeah.
whatever, but Blues Traveler is,
Yeah.
of course, the great John Popper, and they have hits,
Yeah.
but their jam songs are just as good, and their concerts are immaculately cool. It's so fun. And then right there, of course, at Red Rocks, one of the best venues in the world.
Yeah.
Right over the stage in the distance is Denver, and the storms that come and go, or the sunshine that's there, and it's so spiritual to be there. It's so, you want to use the right word for it. It's just fantastic. It's just fantastic.
Yeah.
You could be seeing anybody.
We took Red Rocks for granted for so long until it popped up on that best concert venue list, a couple years ago.
Sure.
And then all of a sudden it's almost impossible to get down there in front anymore.
Well, I keep trying to get a gig there.
Yeah, you're not the only one. Me and you, brother, both. Yeah.
You keep trying to
One
call
day.
Barry Fay, I know.
I called them up, and I did
Larry.
call them up and ask them about their movies on the rocks, because
Yeah.
they have a band, and then the band's done, they
Yeah.
play the movie, and so it's if you can't get in to open up for Blues Traveler, or to open up for somebody who you love, maybe I could get my band up there to do Film on the Rocks. That would be fantastic. So I gave them a call, and they're like, "Oh, we only work with producers. They do all the booking, and everyone." So you call the producers, and they pass the buck, and you got to know somebody. You got to know somebody.
And that's a difference in this town, is that everyone kind of self-promotes their concerns. There are no real professional promoters in this town because it's an antithesis for some reason. Tell me why.
Yeah, my answer is I don't know.
Well, no, we don't
My answer
know,
is that,
but
for the last 20-something years that I've been doing this in Colorado Springs and Denver and everywhere in between, I've done it at my own speed.
Yeah.
I'm the one going to the bar, asking the manager for 5 minutes. I'm the one making the phone
Yeah.
calls. And when I have worked with booking agents, it's been limited success.
Yeah.
And
it's a thankless job on that
And
end.
they do a lot of work for a lot of grief. They
Yeah.
get a lot of grief,
Yeah.
and I'm not trying to put anyone down, because when I go do it, I can tell the result right at the moment. I can get that manager to say, "Yeah, sure, that'd be great. Let's get our calendars out and put a date down," and then I can just do. Then I have to go book my guys.
Yeah.
And my drummer's not available, so I got to go back to the bar. But I get results right then and there. And with a booking agent, you got to wait for them to give you the results and to say it's another person in the line. So I've just been doing it myself. And when I do bring in other people, they've had success, getting us booked. But again, they're usually working with another group. And I'm impatient. It wouldn't be anyone's fault but mine.
And everybody
But
has their priorities.
Everybody has a priority, sure. Like I said, other people have their life. My own band members have their own lives that are their priority. So I call them with a great gig. They might not do it, and they might, they're not going to give me satisfaction because they're busy.
Yeah.
And that's okay. That's just, I have to be able to deal with that. If I throw my pen on the ground and smash my computer and say, "Oh, I can't, I want to," it doesn't mean no good whatsoever.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
you forget all that, and you just get back to work, and you just keep booking, because the alternative is no gigs,
Oh, yeah.
and that's not where you want to be. That's not where you want to be.
Well, we have a kind of a different type of rotation. I mean, we, like for instance, we'll say, okay, these 2 months, we're in the studio recording. And sometimes, actually we've started booking for next year to promote the next album that's coming out and going out of state and everything. But for us, it's there's other people involved. We have other musical projects going on. I'm producing Patty Mac's solo album. You and I are in the studio working on our
We're
album.
in the middle of it. We've got 2 or 3 songs done.
About 3, I think. And then I've got the Voodoo Hawks, and I'm trying to give everybody full attention, but schedules are crazy.
Sure, and you got to sleep and eat and rest and have family life of your own too. So I mean, it's where people.
Hard to work family in.
Yeah, it's hard to work. Yeah, it's hard to work family into your band schedule. Yeah, you know what I mean. What's
not?
The most important people obviously come first. The family. But
family first. I mean, if you can't. If you don't have your family behind you, you're alone and you're just shivering because you're emotionally just devastated, You
gotta have that. I mean, and this just a hypothetical. This has happened with every single person I've ever had in my band. Are you available on this date? Sorry, man, I got to do something with my wife. Oh, is it real important? And then I feel like a total jerk. Oh, is it real important, or can we reschedule? I got to ask that question, and they usually, almost every time come back with, no, I can't reschedule. That's why I said I'm doing something with my wife, and I'm like, okay, again, no
what
problem.
We do on our calendar? We look, and we have color-coded days.
Yeah, color-coded, sure.
This is someone's anniversary. This is someone's birthday. And it's we're lucky that most of the family and stuff. Most of the family birthdays are in June. 3 sons and a daughter, and it's just crazy.
Then you're trying to put together 4 or 5 guys or girls or whatever who's doing the same thing with their life, and then if you get an open date and everybody can do it, and you get one of those shows that you book and you confirm it. You start, then you got to do the whole flyers, the whole promotion. Yeah. And if you're only doing Facebook, you're missing out. You got to get up, go down to the store and print your flyers, physical copies.
Yeah.
Don't just drop them off with the bartender. You put them up.
Yeah.
Make them put them somewhere else, but put them up. And the bar usually appreciates it, or the venue usually appreciates your efforts.
Yeah.
And when you don't do it, you might not get that second gig. Even if you blow the doors off, if you didn't promote it, why would they have you back?
When you walk into your gig and you don't see a single one of your posters that you dropped off.
That's frustrating, isn't it?
Oh.
And then again, right then and there, but getting mad and having a fit over it does nothing.
It's your responsibility.
It's your responsibility, absolutely. I agree totally.
And, for us, it's been, to be honest with you, after we released this last album, we weren't expecting to have to do as much promo as we got caught up in doing, and it kind of took over our scheduling. We had 2 and 3 interviews in one day, which the typical musician, like when we play in bars and stuff, we don't have to do no interviews.
That's right.
We just sit up and make sure we got our one beer set,
Has everybody got their amp, set right, and is your guitar tuned? Okay, everybody ready? 1, 2, 3, go. It's not, that isn't this long drawn, but it's more work than anybody could ever imagine. Like, let's say, if I was a plumber or a carpenter or a mechanic of some kind, or somebody, or an engineer, or anything, and I went to work, I would spend a minimum of probably 7 hours a day, 5 days a week, or maybe 6 days a week, minimum, to be successful as an independent contractor, to have that worldly success, right? Yeah. Enough money to pay rent, enough money to feed your kids, enough money to drive a car and pay for insurance and gas and whatever else you got to pay for, which is, as we all know, never ending. Yeah. But as a songwriter, not only do I get some monetary success, which is okay, after bless
me.
Oh, yeah. Gesundheit on that. Oh. But
thank you.
But you get this, and here's the great part of it, is that you get the therapy of it. You get the creative side of it. So to me, it's this great job that not only gives you the self-satisfaction and this therapy moment. I get to go scream my lyrics or scream out loud to a crowd of people who are appreciating the music that I'm making. It feels great, and it's this sense of I'm making myself better by doing this as well. So it's not only worldly success, but it's also this
Expression.
intangible success.
I got to tell you something that just came.
Is there
in.
something just pop in there?
Something just popped in.
Go for
It
it.
just made everybody laugh. But somebody tuned in, listened to the show, put a comment on the event page, said this is much more enjoyable than the Republican National. So we're doing our
Well
job.
said, whoever that is. Well said.
Yeah, we're doing our job. So also say hello to Don Peterson.
Oh, Don Peterson, right? He's one of my
Yeah.
favorite people. Don and his brother Dan are music lovers, musicians, songwriters, and just good people, good folk.
Well, thanks for listening, and tell some friends all the time.
Yeah, that's right.
But, I want to take a break here, do some other acknowledgments, and then we'll round out the last half hour with whatever you want to do, and hopefully it's more music, because we've
More
learned
music.
an awful lot about you, man.
We're flapping our gums quite a bit.
No,
Yeah,
but it's all great information and stuff that probably nobody really knows what the ins and outs really are.
One thing I want to say real quick, because my memory is crap and I won't remember it in 5 minutes. We were talking about how everybody promotes on Facebook. Facebook is not the end all, when it comes to promoting.
Agreed.
It's just a tiny drop.
It's a tool.
It's a tool. And it's nice to see that you got 1,000 likes, 2,000 likes, whatever
Yeah.
it is. But and there's other ones like Twitter. I don't know.
So
there's
many
Flickr,
others.
Sure, there's so
Twitter,
many.
Flickr, but the thing is, you got to get out there and do the physical promotion. You got to go out there and put up posters, not just in the venues, but
On street
identify your
corners.
audience. Like what kind of people are you bikers?
Yeah.
Well, go put them in the biker spots.
Yeah.
And identify your audience. Who comes
Well,
to
I've
your
heard a
gigs.
lot of bands that are great and nobody knows about them. And
Yeah.
the band members are saying, we really promote the living daylights out of this when we're not getting anywhere. And it's frustrating and it
Yeah.
hurts. It hurts your soul, man. It hurts your heart to not get anywhere with your art. It's common
Yeah.
because there are so many people delving into art in our world. There's more people in our modern age, so there's more artists. There's more music lovers. And then when you go up to Denver and you have a metro area with a high population, you get this higher population of music lovers who are searching music. And you hear bands and you talk to those bands and they're like, boy, we've been doing this. And I say to them, you're great. You guys got hook, you got style, you got power, you're fantastic. What are you doing? And they're like, well, we're waiting to be found. And it's like, well, you're going to die waiting to be
make
found.
your own race.
You cannot say, someday I'm going to be a writer. You have to write.
Yeah.
You cannot say, someday I'm going to be a news personality. You have to go get a camera and start reporting news.
Just like this
Just-
internet
yeah.
station. We
Sure.
have been knocking the dirt out of everywhere, trying to get people to listen to all the favorite local musicians that they will go out and see at a bar or a club or wherever they do. And then they go, what, you're playing them here? It's like, yeah, that's all we do.
Well, it's got to be
Yeah.
a priority, to not just the musicians, and not, people often say, oh, the music scene, the music scene is you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is your individual self, whether you're in that stool or on the dance floor or buying the CD for $5-10. It's not going to break you. And I'm not trying to harp on CDs, but going out and making it a party, being the party.
Mhm.
I don't mean to be a jerk or anything, but go out and enjoy yourself at a live music venue.
Yeah.
You are the music scene, and if it's just you, the band's going to play for just you.
Yeah.
And one thing a lot of the bands overlook is our biggest tool has always been our mailing list. Bands need to put out
And that's a
mailing
lot of
list.
work.
It doesn't matter.
That's
Yeah.
I know. That's what I'm
Email
saying.
list.
You're absolutely right. It shouldn't matter at all.
You know,
It's
Yeah.
a lot of work.
It takes nothing to sit your clipboard out and ask people, if you like us, sign our mailing list and we'll send you out emails, and
I put a stack of business cards, and I have them right
Yeah.
here. They're on me, and I buy them by the crate, and they do nothing for me
Mhm.
unless I give them away. So I give them away. I just say, if someone asks for a business card, I give them 5. And that's what I don't put out a clipboard for emails, but I say, if you take a business card, send me an email. It's right there on the business card.
Yeah, me too.
And I'll answer you back. And I spend the time answering them back.
Yeah.
And that's where I build my clientele.
Yeah.
And you know, and when you and I hooked up on YouTube and Facebook and everything like that, then all of that built, and then all of a sudden I started getting more emails. So, you know, it was a learned professional who's working, taking me under his wing and saying, hey, I have a large list of fans, and I'm gonna expose you to these fans. And it paid off. It was this huge moment where I watched my numbers going.
Well, that's
you know, and I was like,
exactly.
wow,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
And that was because Ricky's scene
Yeah.
let me in,
Yeah.
and he did that. He spoke. He said to his fans, "This is one of the people that I like to listen to." Boom. So I mean, it isn't a matter of, you know, but that's also happening in my world as well. I've turned my fans on to other musicians
Share
as
the
well,
love,
and share
yeah.
the love, yeah. And it's
What comes
how
around goes around.
Yeah, it works. So let's
Well, we got a message last week from a actual radio station in Sao Paulo, Brazil, who
cool.
was listening to this show and said, wow, there's a great show right here. There's a lot of potential, and sent me an email address to respond to, and I've got to do that. You know, we've had that success too. Dolphin Entertainment Group out of Chicago, Edward Klump has done the same for us. We have promoters all over. Doug Deutsch Publicity Service in LA has done a lot for the station. There's a lot that send us CDs now, want us to play.
Well, I mean, it's the thing. It's if people are complaining about the music scene, which, you know, is really comes down to that individual, not just the musicians, and not just the girlfriends or the wives of the musicians, but it's got to be the people who are dissatisfied.
Become
It's-
part of
they
it.
have to change that perspective of there's nothing fun to do here,
Yeah.
to I'm gonna go have fun no matter what at a music venue. You
Well,
know,
there's a 500,000 people here in this area.
at
You know,
least.
how do I reach 500,000 people? You know, and so far I got
One at a time.
1,200 likes, but you know, so that's
One at a time, I mean-
shameless solicitation. But you know,
Almost 98%, I mean almost 100%, so I would say 97, 98% of the CDs that I've sold have been hand to hand with a handshake
Yeah, yeah.
And a business card and a signature, you know, hey, here, let me sign this for you, or, you know, or sign this for me. And then I do have some internet sales, but most of it is eyeball to eyeball, getting to know everybody.
I
So,
can't
you know,
say that enough, because you know we go all over to see new bands to get people on our show, and it's like, hey, can we get a radio copy? Oh, we didn't have any CDs with me.
That's how I feel right
Oh,
now.
no. But no.
That's how I feel right now.
But you know, it's like I got to say, like last night we went to 719 Day at
Awesome.
Switchback Stadium.
Awesome.
Well, it was all set up to be a great thing. John Eddy Productions let us in, you know, because it was sponsored by the big guys. And I was saying, I just want to video the bands. That's what I do. So there were 3 bands that I was really interested in that we hadn't seen yet. Mark's Midnight Carnival, Ghost Radio, and Sound Studies. Well, we've been playing Sound Studies on the station already.
I like sound studies.
But you know what? We didn't get to meet them because about a half hour into Mark's Midnight Carnival set, the skies opened up and it rained out the show. So we want to thank John Eddy for helping us get in there, and we're looking forward to next time. Anything that he wants to do, we'd love to be a part of. You know, there's so many great things going on. We got our sponsor for the show is Sunshine Studios Live in Security.
That is a great.
It's
that's
a great family-owned place that does so much for the local area. For
Yeah, I
local
love the place.
musicians.
I wish someday I could play there.
Well, I'm sure Tony's listening because Tony always listens.
He does?
He does. So
Oh.
we'll have to
And
go
I've always
over.
wondered why I've never been able to play
I wonder if
there.
he's.
We'll
I wonder
just
if
go-
he has a bug in his ear right at this moment.
We'll just
Maybe,
go over.
maybe.
I mean, I think Andy Clifton and Company and the Voodoo Hawks would be an awesome show there, but I don't know.
I just, that brain nugget actually just fell right out.
Bam.
That is
Yeah, didn't
that
it?
just happened.
Yeah.
That is
You know,
a great idea.
It's a great
How come
idea.
it hasn't happened?
Well,
I think that we need to
Let's
go
just
make
go
it.
introduce ourselves.
Are we
We'll
too
take
loud?
the radio.
I mean, I know we're a loud band.
Yeah, no, you're
I
not.
mean,
You
come
know,
on, I've seen bands here.
They are the metal capital of this town, so you are not too loud
We're
for
not too
Sunshine
loud.
Studio.
I mean,
But you know, we.
our amps do go to 11.
Yeah, that's because you painted them.
Flying V, amp to 11.
But you know, we have been so lucky to have them as a sponsor. They let us come in and do the things we do, and interview and shoot and video and stuff like that. And Scott Wilson.
I always love it when Dave Way, whatever band he's with at the time, plays it. I'm
Yeah.
a big Dave Way fan. I
Love
mention
Dave
his
Way.
name every time I get on the radio. You know?
But you know, Scott Wilson from Tantric is the producer engineer resident at Sunshine Studios, and was just named as one of the top 10 best rock bass players. Just announced. So much love to Scott, and
Congrats.
maybe someday he'll come in and sit down too with us. I know we did a remote interview with him and Christina about a year ago. It's on the YouTube channel, but. You know, we're trying to collect sponsors. We're hoping that things are going well. You know, I just went into Manitou Wellness Center for my weekly treatment. If you got some things that are ailing you that the doctor can't fix, I would definitely go see them. And so, yes, I would definitely like to have Andy close out the rest of the show with as much music as he would like to do,
Absolutely.
because I paid the bills. And we talked about everything Ricky wanted to talk about,
And
except
there's air
Saturday.
conditioning.
Right?
Let's see, I've only played 1, 2, 3, 3 tunes, so
I
I'm gonna
know.
get busy. Yeah, I better get busy.
Well, you can just do a
Hey,
medley.
Ricky, want to sing? Want to jump in on this one and take the
Yeah.
first verse?
I'll take the first verse.
Take the first verse.
All
All
right.
right. Maybe a little harmony one.
See, we
This is
like-
this is the tune where Ricky said, "Let's show me a song. I need a tune for my album. Show me a song." And I said, "Well, I just wrote this song about PTSD and depression and other things and healing and not just it's not just that." But,
Yeah, you're right.
And I played it for Ricky, and it affected him. And he had his band record it, and I was on the recording, which I'm really grateful for. And it was an experience like no other to have, you know, not just my band, but someone else's band that's awesome play one of my songs. It was great, and it's special to us, to me, and it's special to Ricky. So
I'll try not to cry this
yeah, it's radio, so
I just won't point the camera at you.
yeah.
No cameras.
Well, this is a song that's been released on the Voodoo Hawks new album,
Heartbreaks and
and
Celebrations.
Breaks and Celebrations, and
You can hear it here too.
it's probably being played on your radio station.
Yes, it
Yeah,
is.
this radio- Okay, well, this song's called Somewhere Along the Way.
Once I held the world, that little hand of mine. I stopped to check the time, and I dropped the little world of mine. Somewhere along the way, used to be lonely. Somewhere along the way, I started thinking I was the only one who hurts. This little broken heart of mine is stronger every day. It takes so long to heal, tracing scars.
astray. Somewhere along the way, got used to being lonely. Somewhere along the way, I started thinking I was the only one who hurts. Wouldn't take back yesterday. My one wish now is only for love to stay. Stay with me. Somewhere along the way, I started thinking yeah, I used to be lonely, lonely. Somewhere along the way, I started thinking I was the only one who hurts. I wouldn't take back yesterday. But my one wish, my one now, is only for love to stay. Stay with me. Stay with me. Stay. Ricky D. Hall.
Clifton. Andrew Clifton.
That was like when I wrote it, it was like wringing out the wet rag. You know, it's like wringing out the getting clean of that stuff, and then being able to share it and having Ricky play it. And this song just has done a lot for me already. If there ever is like a royalty check, and if you're not watching the screen, I'm making so many quotes that I'm practically flying away like Chris Farley.
You're buying dinner.
Yeah. But if I ever see a royalty check, yeah, I mean, it could be 5 cents. That would be so cool
It's almost a cup of coffee.
to just to see that somewhere else in the world it's generating and having effect on people, and it's being used and it's being listened to, and you know that's what that would mean to me.
Well, now it's global.
If it was global, yes.
And
that was Ricky D. Hall singing with me on that one. That was great.
Not very well, but
And I just want to say too that you know, for all this emotion that happens after we all come home, I think we all should come home. Really, you know, this is a time that the craziness needs to stop.
the world is completely insane at the moment.
But you know,
Well, there's
Wrong
always
people
music
suffer.
that can help that, and
And
people like
thank
this,
God
you know,
for
like
you
you guys
guys.
at this radio station who are reaching out to people who aren't here, and making it like, you know, there are options. There are options.
Yeah.
People need to know that there are options. I mean, how many times have we, you know, me and you, anybody felt like there's no way out of this? And there are ways out of it. You know? There's
Absolutely.
always hope. Even when there's no hope to be seen, this kind of thing, it will stop. And I have to
So-
have faith that those horrible things that are happening right now in our country and around the world, they will stop. They will, because people who have hope will share that hope.
and if anybody, anywhere really wants to say something or talk about it, send us a message on the page.
Or get in touch with somebody. And
Or
talk
somebody,
about it.
because you know,
Anybody.
we will
Talk about
redirect that, but we want to make sure that everyone has that feeling of safety again.
Yeah, yeah.
There's a great organization you can get in contact with for all the veterans. It's called 22 Until None. And
Is that the
look them up.
.com? Is it 22 until
I think it's
non.com?
.com or .org. You can look it up on the internet.
Yeah.
Cool.
I could be wrong with .org or .com, but yeah, check it out, look it up.
For all you veterans out there, there's also woundedwarriors.com. Check it out. There's a hotline on the website you can call. Especially all you veterans out there. Of course, they're not the only ones who suffer. That's kind of what that last song was about. Is
Yeah.
you start to feel like you're the only one that's suffering.
But you're not.
But it's a big lie. It's our ego or our something about us as human beings that makes us feel that way,
Yeah.
and it can be beaten with camaraderie, with hope, with options.
Right.
There are options.
Yep.
There are options.
And no matter what's going on in the world today, I mean, the racial tension and all the prejudice and everything, we are still, despite the color of your skin, we are still one family. And get over it. Look past it.
Yeah.
We are one
Play some
family.
music. Go listen to some music. Get involved in abstract art. Get involved in
maybe
community
a-
gardening. Get involved in
Maybe
anything.
a video shoot on Saturday, right?
Oh yeah, we're doing a video shoot. We're just going to keep it kind of a secret, but what the heck? Calm down. We never keep anything a secret.
No secrets. No secrets between friends. Come on.
Yeah, the Video Hawks are shooting another music video this Saturday at this place called the Chicken Coop. And ironically, the song
my
we're recording
hood.
is Rocking at the Chicken Shack, so we thought it was kind of funny to do it at the Chicken
That's pretty
Coop.
cool.
It's out in Black Forest, so come on down. We're shooting the video between 1 o'clock and 3 o'clock Saturday.
Black Forest Road and Shoop Road.
Yeah, so come on down, bring your dancing shoes.
Shoot, bidoo.
We're going to have some fun.
Close it out, then.
Well, how about something a little upbeat for the.
Oh,
This
absolutely.
is another one of my tunes, of course, and I'm out of here.
It's your show, man.
Hey, it's Andy's show. It's not your show. It's Andy's show. Oh. No, just so this is upbeat. This is a song about hope. So we're talking about hope. Quick story. We had a family car. It was the only car running at the time. I'd sold an old Vanagon, which was like giving away a lover or something. It was this old Vanagon that I loved.
Not my
took care.
baby.
No, my baby. I went to play gigs and slept in the back. I just had a great time in that van. I had it forever. And if you're one of the people out there in the world that's listening that knows me and you remember my van, it was Betty Blue. Yeah. I had to sell it. And for a while there, we only had the one car. And then that sucker broke and went down for the count, a sizable bill to get it fixed. And I was pretty down about it, and I was just kind of sitting on the edge of the bed, staring at the pools of light between my feet, not having any answers, just kind of slipping away into the void of can't think. And my phone rings, and it was my dad, and who lives in New York, and I love him so much. And he said, "Son, what's that in your voice? What's wrong? Something's wrong." And I said, "It's not a big deal, it's not a big deal. The car's broken." And he says, "How much do you need?" And I don't need, and he quit it. He just says, "Quit it." And that's kind of my dad. He says, "Quit it." And I said, "Yes, sir." And he says, "How much do you need?" And I said, "Dad, I don't want to answer that." He says, "Quit. How much do you need?" So I can't remember what the number was. It was like $1,500 or something. Off the top of my head. And I was like, I don't know, $1,500. And I hear him muffle the phone, and people muffle the phone, but they don't really muffle the phone. And I hear him yell, "Sweetie, we need to send Andy a check for $1,500. And he comes back and he says, "It's in the mail." And he says, "Have a good night, rest up, you'll feel better in the morning." And he just hangs up. And sure enough, 2 or 3 days later, a check came in the mail. We got the truck fixed, got the car fixed, and it was, I didn't ask for it. It wasn't. It probably wasn't necessarily needed, and we could have scraped together the money to do it. But we were down to that point where we're like, oh man, this is a question. And my dad, it's that great story of the father who comes to the rescue of his kid, and I'm forever grateful. Once we got that fixed, and now we got rid of that. But
What's your dad's phone number?
hey man, he doesn't get it. I'm his kid. I'm important. No,
I'm your brother, man.
hey, if you need $1,500, I'll help you out because I'll share
Dave's
the
not
love.
here, man.
Oh, that's dated but funny. Dave's not here, man. No, it was hope, you know.
Yeah,
It was,
that's a
he offered
wonderful
me
thing.
hope. He didn't need to give me $1,500, and he could have just said, "You're gonna get through this." But that's the way he loved me, you know. He loved me. He sent me that hope, not just help, but hope, you know.
And the world needs more hope.
And we need more of that. So
Yeah.
that you know, while I'm sitting there crying tears of joy and love, I was inspired to write a song. Who'd have thunk I'd be as
Wrote a song about
oh,
it.
yeah, I wrote a song. Want to hear it? Here it goes. And it's called Ravens on a Wire. Too far down the wrong road, under the weight of a heavy load, and I'm paying for it out with my time. Asking my friends, what do you know? They reply, where did you go? And I say, come on out and listen to me rhyme. Yeah, we'll have ourselves a good time. Yeah. You know how sometimes the wind blows, it's cold and gives you a runny nose. Meanwhile, both your feet are in the fire, so hold it down to the grindstone. We're in deep, but we're not alone. Yeah, angels gather like ravens on a wire. Yeah, no need for us to expire. Baby, you and I could start a fire. My ever-dancing feet are in the fire, singing along with the radio. We'll make it through with the weather holds. And baby, look at all those ravens on a wire. Yeah, no need for us to expire. Baby, you and I could start a fire. If you call me now, yeah, I'm gonna answer you. Baby, you and I could start a fire. If you call me out, I'm gonna answer you. Baby, you and I will not expire. If you call me, if you call me out, baby, you and I could start a fire. If you call me out, I'm gonna answer you. Just look at all those ravens on a wire.
That was my favorite, and I could have sent that to them. We recorded it in my studio.
Oh man.
I got a request.
Thank you. Yeah, oh, okay.
Real quick one. You and I are friends. What's the name of? We wrote that one, and you and I recorded it, and I can't think of the name of it. You and I.
Oh, the tune we did?
Yeah. What was the name?
I think it's called Something Will Remind You.
Something will
Yes,
remind you.
but I don't remember it all right now.
Ah, come on.
I didn't prepare it. I'm
That's
sorry.
all right.
It's okay, man.
I just found out
Recorded,
that you were going to be here, and I was like, oh, I should have practiced that song. You know, that's all right. Hey, that's something that the world will be waiting for, right?
Yeah.
leave them wanting more. So
Well,
it's-
you know, we do, once you're in the family, we do expect a return performance annually
wow,
now.
cool.
Annually.
Yeah, absolutely.
Annually.
Absolutely. This has been just a great conversation and
Yes, it has.
about something that I obviously really care about, and I've been loving this. Talking with Ricky is always
Uh-huh.
it's always a chance to pick the brain of somebody who's knows what they're doing
Yeah.
and has been doing
This
it for a
is-
long time.
Tell you what, this is the deal that I'm gonna make right now. Me and Andy, when our CD comes out, the duo that we're doing, you're gonna get the first copy to
All
play
right.
for the grand. What do you call
For
it?
The
Preview.
the grand release.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the
you'll be the
release
first
party.
ones to play.
And you can do the
That's
live
awesome.
release party right
Sure, right here in the
Yeah.
studio. Sure, Rick.
Set a bar up right here.
Yeah.
Ricky's got a couple
Dance.
tunes that I can't wait. I actually have. I think I have them written down. I think there's a song of Ricky's that I love. Who's gonna tend my
Who's
garden?
Tend Our Garden.
I love
Yeah.
that song, Ricky. That song of yours makes. When you play that song, I have the reaction that you had to my song. I was like, wow, this is such a great song, man.
Thank you, man.
Yeah, that's one of those tunes. I would actually like to take a quick second before we're all done to say that I'm going to be at the bar next door in Castle Rock, 9 p.m. Friday, July 22nd.
Is this solo or the whole band?
It's a solo gig, but I'm really fortunate because a good friend of mine named David Jeffrey, who is in a group called Grass It Up, he's a mandolin player extraordinaire.
Wow.
He's a national level. His band Grass It Up. These guys are internet.
is phenomenal.
They could easily go on the world tour. They're
Yeah.
phenomenal.
Yeah.
And I'm really lucky. He brings his mandolin skills to my act, my solo act, and then sometimes he sits in with the band too, but with Andy Clifton and company. But he's going to be with me at the bar next door in Castle Rock on Friday the 22nd. So we're looking forward to having a ball.
All right.
That's a great room.
Yeah.
Great people. Good party scene. Great food. Good drinks. And speaking
Sounds
of great
great.
food and drinks, there's the 20 Mile Tap House in Parker, Colorado, which is easy. You can either do 83, which is South Parker Road, straight from the north end of the Springs, or you can take I-25 to Lincoln. If you're in Denver, just come down I-25. If you're Springs, go up to Lincoln, and you just shoot right across to Parker, and you can't miss it. So I'll be there on Sunday as a solo act at 3 p.m. on their patio. And by the time I finish, the sun will be going down in the mountains. It's perfect.
Wow.
Great staff. Again, I really like to play places where their staff is professional and takes care of the customers, because then it makes my job that much easier and
Yeah.
that much more fun if people aren't waiting for their drinks. And these places do that. They're all over it, And then the last one is AC and Company. My full band has a gig at Good Company, which is North Union in Colorado Springs.
Now, who all was in that band?
Well, hold on. Good Company, 9 p.m. Friday the 29th. So we have the bar next door in Castle Rock on Friday the 22nd, the 20 Mile Tap House in Parker on July 24th, and then Good Company on Friday the 29th. So that'll round out my month. I've got a couple other private gigs in between all those, but these are the public ones that everyone go. And who's in my band? I'm glad you asked, because they're good friends of mine, and I have been neglecting them throughout the interview. Sorry. My band starts with my drummer, Stefan Flores, who is a well-known
monster
player, and he really owns it.
Yeah.
So he only plays with bands that he wants to own part of that, and that's the way to put it. Is it's very personal to him to play this music, and I'm grateful for that. He also has other things going on in his musical world, but maybe you'll have him in here and he can tell you all about
Oh, we had him in with
Yeah.
Quartet of Jazz.
Yeah, with Quartet of Jazz
We're
Dead,
hoping
yeah.
to do it again.
That's just one thing.
Yeah, that's
The
one.
second
So
album.
he's a good player and a good friend, and I'm and then moving on to another great player and another good friend, KJ Braithwaite, who is a guitar player
Phenomenal
extraordinaire. And the great thing about KJ, I mean, first of all, does he have the chops? Yes. Does he have the gear? Yes. He's got the Fender, Twin, and the Fender Telecaster, and he knows how to work it, and it's. I mean, he's been doing it his whole life.
And I've tried to steal him from Andy for years.
And he's a great player, but the greatest thing about KJ is that even though he can do anything on the guitar, he's tasty. He gets in and gets out.
No overplaying.
He doesn't overplay one bit. And even if he did, it would make the show better, but he's really about the song, and he knows songwriting. He is a songwriter. He works with other fantastic songwriters like Joe Vegas and his band Bus, which is Braithwaite, Vegas, and Sokol. And they are like Crosby, Stills, and Nash. I mean, they're so good, the harmonies and everything. So he's got music in his heart and brain, and he brings that to my band, and I'm just like, man. And then, of course, last but not least is my 5-string bass player and long time partner in music, Randy Block, who is the owner-operator of Green Mountain Studios, which is downtown recording studio. And he's, again, a solid bass player who he likes to joke on catfish bass. You know, he's laying on the bottom, playing that. But the truth is that he's extremely musical. And Ricky knows this. He has a phenomenal bass player as well.
Yeah.
It's the heartbeat, that foundation, that low end, where you just, when you have a guy like Chris DeMont or my buddy Randy Block, you know, you go out on stage and you feel like a real man. Because there's that bass is really gay. You know, I can sit here and write songs on my acoustic all day. The truth is my acoustic doesn't go any lower than, I can fake a low D, you know, but unless I detune the guitar, I can't go any lower than, I really can't deliver. I can tune it, I can use my EQ pedal, I can do anything I want to it to make it sound bassier. But if you got a great bass player,
Oh yeah.
And Randy's not only just a great bass player, he's a great producer and sound engineer for recording.
well said, he is.
Yeah.
He's multifunctional.
Voodoo Hogs recorded the first 2 albums at Green Mountain Studios and had a blast doing it.
Cool, yeah.
Had so much fun.
So-
Some of it I don't remember. But
Randy Block, KJ Braithwaite, and Stephen Flores, and then when Dwight Bement was in town, he played sax for us, and he's now off in Arizona, I think.
Yeah.
But hello to Dwight if he's listening.
Yeah.
Big love to him. We've had David Jeffrey with his mandolin sit in with that group, and one of the best nights of my life was Stephen Flores on drums, KJ on electric guitar, Randy on bass, David Jeffrey on mandolin, and Dwight Bement on horn, and we played up at the Wolf Ranch Summer Concert Series, and it was something I'd love to do again too, but we'll never have that lineup again, you know, and we have it recorded, and I listen to it, you know, sometimes in the car.
maybe a live album?
It was recorded on a handheld digital device, so it can't be mixed.
Yeah.
But man, now when I listen to it, I get the feel, and I remember that night, and like Dwight taking his solo, and then David taking over on mandolin, and then Dwight coming back, and then KJ finishing off with a scream and tell, and I'm just standing there going, yeah! You know? And everyone's laughing at me because I'm so joyous, you know, I'm so overwhelmed with that power that these great musicians give me, and they're playing my music, so it's mind blowing.
Great
It's
feeling.
my heart feels like the Grinch at the end of the movie when he grows his heart 10 times this normal size and he lifts up the sled. You know, that's true. That went from, I might get to the gig feeling tired or depressed or sick or something, and when I play with these musicians, the music becomes life force to us, and the moment, being in that moment, and being in that moment at the highest level we can produce together. I know you people out there in internet radio land are going, this guy's a whack job, but the truth is that moment is zen, it's ecstasy, whatever you want to call it.
And there's nothing like playing your own music.
That own original
Songs that
music
you've
with
written.
players that can play anywhere with anybody. Yeah, it's special. It's
Well,
really special.
and we like to keep it going too,
Sure.
because not only are we broadcasting live right now, but the broadcast is being recorded and it's archived on the SoundCloud and on our website, kvcmradio.com. All of the shows are archived on there for your listening pleasure. And then the video is on the YouTube channel for my largely successful Facebook group page called the Southern Colorado Musicians and Artists Cooperative, of which we're approaching 5,300 members.
Phenomenal.
So this is an invitation that we always give to everybody. Please, in the future, post on that page your events, your upcoming shows, your videos, anything you want. That's an open forum for all of the people in southern Colorado to contribute to. That's why it's called a cooperative. It's becoming such a good thing that we include all of Colorado. You know, we have people come from, like I say, Boulder and Pueblo and Canyon City to play this little room, and we're just honored and thrilled beyond belief. Would you like to close out with a song? We don't mind going over because it's our show, and it's our show until midnight anyway.
Cool. I would love to play one more song.
All right, Andy. It's been a pleasure.
This one,
Till midnight?
I'll play one song until midnight. That'll get you fired real quick. Thank you for having me. This just want to make sure that I let you guys know this has been great, and I highly recommend.
It's a blast, isn't it?
This is a blast.
I told you.
You did. I highly recommend other musicians out there, young, middle-aged, whatever you are, whatever you got going on. If you've got music you want to share, get in touch with these guys because it's comfortable, it's fun.
Thank
This
you.
has been a pleasure. This has been a real pleasure.
We want it to be that way. And
My
stay
shoes
that
aren't
way.
sticking to the floor.
I know, yeah. Yeah.
No, this is wonderful. Thanks, man.
You're
and,
welcome.
and again, really great to talk about music and live music and music in Colorado Springs.
Yeah.
And I'm glad to be a part of it. It's been a wild and super rewarding 20 years, 23 years now
Wow.
that I've been playing music in
Yeah.
Colorado Springs, and it has been a good life of music for me. And whether or not I'm having this massive, I'm not having Pearl Jam success. That's not the point, because those guys get what they get out of it. But I get what I get out of it, and my success is my own. So when I get to play and reach people, or have someone listen to my music, like Ricky, or fans, friends that come visit, or
People that
anybody,
have commented on the Facebook event page.
it's great.
Yeah.
It is success, and the successful music that I've been enjoying. I'm grateful, and that happens right here in Colorado Springs.
Yes.
So I'm grateful. I won't ever say a bad word about Colorado Springs because it's employed me for a long time. So,
We love it. It's
hey, man,
home.
let's get some music on here.
Yeah.
This song's called Witchcraft.
All right.
Yeah, I'm feeling all kinds of fine. No poison I don't, but I'm losing track of time. As she pours me on another glass of wine, yeah. Magic sister, did I miss a warning sign? So yeah, that's the way you make me feel. Oh, you are just too good to be real. Oh yeah, you must have witchcraft in your loving hand. Witchcraft in your loving hand. Room is spinning, that wine into my head. Suns and moons, and stars above the bed. She don't see me, oh no, she feels so good instead. Can you tell me what were those magic words I said? Yeah, that's the way you make me feel. Oh, you are just too good to be real, yeah, girl. Well, you must have witchcraft in your loving. Yeah, I got witchcraft in your loving, lady. Yeah. something unseen. Still I feel just like I'm moving through a dream. Can't get enough of you. I said you make me wanna scream. Yeah, yeah. That's the way you make me feel. Oh, you are just too good to be real. Yeah, yeah, girl. Well, you must have witchcraft. Oh, I said woman. Well, you must have that witchcraft. Yeah. You must have that witchcraft in your love, yeah, 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 yeah.
Awesome.
Hey, all right.
Andy Clifton live on the Beat Goes On Global Internet Radio Show.
Thanks
What
for
a
having me.
good time.
Thanks so much for having me.
Take it away, Ed.
Thank you. That has been another wonderful show right here at the Beat Goes On Global Internet Radio Show. Thank you, Andy, Ricky, and Mark for such a wonderful performance.
Awesome, brother.
Be sure to stay
Sounds
tuned
good.
for
Nice.
all Colorado music Monday through Friday.